Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our October Board of Directors meeting for the Delta Amateur Radio Club. Perry, if I could have a moment, if you would call us to order and call the roll, I sure would appreciate it.
Yes, sir. President Joe Plunk.
Present.
Vice President Tyler Henley.
Present.
Secretary Perry Hayes is present. Treasurer Paul Broom.
Present.
Director of Programs Adam White.
Present.
Director of Meetings and Special Events Josh Cunningham.
Here.
Director of Publications Jonathan Urschel.
Here.
Director of Training Joe Lowenthal.
Here.
Repeater Trustee Dan Fleek.
He did say he was going to be absent tonight.
All right. And Club Historian John Reiners.
Present and accounted for.
We do have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Perry. I do appreciate that. I just will take a minute for kind of an opening statement and say I just appreciate everyone's time and effort, energy that you're pouring into the club. It is very much appreciated. I also want to thank all of you for the continued renewal that you have committed to for the next year. I appreciate that greatly, and thank you all for that. With that, we'll move into and apologize for the agenda not being perfect tonight. I was running a little behind. But with that, we'll move into just a real quick review of the minutes. Are there any minutes that we need to review or discuss before moving to pass those on to the membership?
I circulated through email the minutes of the September membership meeting. I did have one response with some corrections, and I did send out what I called an edited version of the minutes early this afternoon and received no response.
All right. Does anyone have any additional edits or corrections that they'd like to propose to those minutes? All right. With that, if we're all in favor, I would entertain a motion to approve those and forward those on to the membership.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Paul and seconded by Joe to approve and forward the minutes on to the membership. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to pass the presentation over to Paul and let him talk to us a little bit about our renewals, new applications, and the treasurer's report. So let me make sure that you have the ability to share. I believe that you can share, so you should be able to steal the presentation, Paul, and share the renewals and the treasurer's report.
All right. Can you see my screen? See.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So we had two renewals this month. Bill Hancock, WA4 MJM, and Perry Hayes, N4 Golf Juliet. Those are the two that we received.
Is both of them 2025?
2026, I believe. Perry's is 2026.
I don't think Hancock had paid.
He actually didn't write on there what it was for. He filled it out at the meeting. I didn't catch that. So I guess his could be 2025 if he hadn't already paid.
Mm-hmm. Accept the new members or renewals.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve and accept the new memberships and renewals as presented by Paul.
If I may, 1 second. Point of order.
Absolutely, Perry. Absolutely.
I'm looking at the master membership list and Bill was paid in 25, and so I've marked this as a renewal for 26, Joe.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Thank you for that clarification. That helped greatly. So we've got 2 renewals for 26, correct?
Correct.
All right. All in favor of those renewals and approving those renewals, please say aye.
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 Fantastic. Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
All
Perry.
right.
Glad to have you on board for another year, Perry.
I was hoping I would be denied membership, but it didn't work.
Fair enough.
Can you guys see the treasurer's report now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is basically just the overall summary. I'll get into the details, but 257.90 in deposits, 1310.27 in checks. So we had the 2 renewals, which we just talked about, deposit of $40 there. We had 2 ARRL commissions for 5 each or $10. And then we had $50.65 in estate sales. And lastly, we received reimbursement for half the food cost for field day from Neshoba. So all that together totaled 257, which you saw here for total deposits. And for disbursements, had the check to Joe Plunk for the Zoom renewal for 174. Check to Memphis or Mid-South Uniform Solutions for the past president's jacket for 74. Reimbursement to Joe Lowenthal for Huntsville expenses of 201. Reimbursement to Josh Cunningham for Huntsville refreshments 163. Reimbursement to Josh Cunningham for just regular meeting refreshments of 2346. And then reimbursement to Jonathan Urschel for the November drawing prizes. And of the 673, 500 of that goes against the budget for that was set aside for this, and the other 173 goes against our discretionary. So the total of all that's the 1310, which you see here. So that's it for the checking account. The CDs, this first CD, we renewed back in August, so it's still ticking along. The second CD right here actually comes up for renewal on the 22nd, and I've got new rates for a rollover on that when we're ready to discuss those.
All right, sir. Let's any questions on the treasurer's report as presented, and we'll talk about the CDs as an item in just a second. Any questions on the treasurer's report? All right. I would entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented by Paul.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Perry, seconded by Jonathan. Thank you. So the motion is to approve the treasurer's report as approved by and shown by Paul. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. Motion carries. Thank you, Paul. All right. If you want to take the floor again and talk to us a little bit about the rates that we have available to us on the CD that needs to renew. Please,
Okay,
sir.
they have shortened their terms from what we saw last time. They've got a 4-month at 4%, an 8-month at 3.5%, and then a 13-month at 3.25%. This last one we renewed. That must be like an APR rate. I can't remember what the exact
Right.
rate was.
But the one that's renewing is the bigger of the two, so
Yeah.
to maximize the interest, the shorter term is going to maximize the interest that we get on that.
Yeah, but that's only good for 4
Right.
months.
True. We'd have to renew it again in 4 months. 8 months is 3.5%. What was 13 months?
3.25.
Is there any cost to renew?
No. I'm not an economist. I'm not sure how many rate cuts we're going to see. You know, there is one most likely going to happen soon, which will cause these rates to drop. How many more happen after that, I don't know. I'd be inclined to recommend going with a 13-month. But I mean, we can do whatever.
We renewed the smaller one for 13 months.
We did.
Okay.
The 13-month is what percentage?
3.25.
And the further out is how much?
There wasn't one further out than
Oh,
that.
okay.
That was as far as they went.
Okay. I recommend the furthest out because I think it's going to be dropping.
The caution that I have is I don't necessarily that ties up both of those CDs for a long term. Not that we couldn't break them and forfeit the yield on one or the other if we had something pop up that we needed them. That's the only caution that I see, that I feel. Otherwise, a longer term is not a bad thing.
Well, we've got
The 8,
16,000 in cash in the checking account also. So
valid point. Valid point.
So that would put it coming due when, if we did the 13-month?
November of 26.
Oh, so Powell's stint is over in May. All right, so there's going to be a new Fed chair in May. So if things go the way somebody wants them to go, probably going to he's going to force the rates to go down if he can. So does that mean our interest rates available to us are going to be a lot less than what we lock in now?
You got it.
Yep.
Right. So, okay. Yep, probably long term is a better bet then. Because I bet they're going to be lower right after May, no matter what.
Well, they're going to drop some between now and May also.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. And what's the 13-month rate?
3.25.
Yeah. I think I would be in agreement. Go with the longer one,
All
lock
right.
it in.
I'm hearing a consensus around 13 months. Would everybody, just a quick show of hands, consensus around 13 months? All right, I'd say that's a pretty good consensus. So I would entertain a motion from someone on the board to empower Paul to renew our CD that ends in 8503 for a 13-month term at the appropriate time.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Perry, seconded by Joe. And the motion is for the board to allow and empower Paul to renew our business CD ending on with the 8503 for a term of 13 months when it is ready to be renewed at the bank. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. All right, Paul, thank you for that. When you have an opportunity, just let us know that that's taken care of. No rush on that.
Will do.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Absolutely, thank you much. All right, let's share back out the agenda. All right, can everybody see that? We do have a couple of things to talk about in new business, so we'll get there in a minute real quick. Does anybody have any bills that they need to present for payment?
I presented one to Paul already.
All right, Paul, did you receive that? Is that
I
in the
did.
report or is that pending? Okay, very good.
I've got it, and kind of related to that, I won't be at next week's meeting. I was going to see if I could meet with you sometime later this week or sometime over the weekend to get you to
Sure.
sign it so we can get it to Joe at the meeting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll sync up and make that happen. All right, anybody else have any other outstanding bills they need to mention or have not presented to Paul at this time? All right. We'll move in and talk about our membership meeting next month. I'll send the floor over to Adam for just a minute or two. I know, Adam, you said you've got some difficulties with Ham 101. So between Jonathan and others, what are we thinking for Ham 101?
Jonathan, do you still want to work on your DX Commander?
Well, I mean, I did as best I could, but I don't feel like people got too much out of it. So I mean, they got to see what one looked like, and there was a guy there that had kind of built one before, so
Yeah.
but I was kind of on the hot seat there.
I do have a classic, Jonathan, that I can bring and I have not made radials for it. So I've got 150 meters of radials to cut and solder on forks and do all that. So, I mean, if nothing else, we can chip in and everybody brings a soldering iron and gets to solder a fork, crimp a fork, solder a fork.
I mean, I did get a couple more on my dime, a couple more of those Wago things. I mean, I could, show people how to do that. I'm actually trying to make one of these PD, USB-C PD to Anderson power pole plugs right now. Doing some 3D prints on it
PD
right
trigger.
now. So yeah,
That's very nice.
I mean, there are some things we could do, but just
I mean, we could keep it simple and somebody just bring a couple soldering irons because we've had a lot of requests for just a simple soldering tutorial.
I tell you what, this may be the perfect opportunity. Give me just a second. I don't have, I have some code oscillators that we could, if everybody wants to build. They were like $5. They're a kit. It uses 2 of the 2032 batteries. It's a radio group out of Georgia puts them together, and I've got a bunch of them. If we wanted to build a test code oscillator, if everybody brings a soldering iron and a some sort of mat to cover the desk, yeah, we could build a code oscillator, do some radio kits for DX commanders and that kind of stuff.
well, I'll bring the Wago stuff. I know I
All
can
right,
do
so why don't we
those.
call this just what should we call it, Adam? Just ham essentials. We'll do some soldering. We'll have fun with it.
Just say
All
soldering,
right, for the
etc.
meeting.
If it's going to be soldering, just say soldering, etc.
I don't know what Jonathan's Wagos. I don't know if that has any soldering in it. It might. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that
Anyway.
one it doesn't. It's just
But
Crimping,
doesn't matter.
crimping and
Soldering, etc. works,
yeah.
but that could be fun. We'll just we'll throw a Sparks article together, and that could be a fun article. Try to get Sparks and that. Adam, what were you thinking for the actual meeting agenda?
We're having
Or
a
what do we
Zoom.
have?
We're having a Zoom presentation by the Laser Ham. I don't have the call sign off the top of my head. He's based in Nashville. He sells a jungle antenna called the I forget what he calls it, but he 3D prints parts. He was at Free Fest, so he's going to talk about the history of the jungle antenna, how that works.
Okay. Is he going to take the whole time?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, and my 3D print worked. Look at that. You probably can't see it, but yeah, there it is. Printed my own 3D case for that little guy. Now I just got to do some soldering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dan doesn't, any other thing on the membership meeting?
What about pass the bill?
Oh yeah.
I'm getting there.
Oh, you're getting there.
Well, that's a new business. We can, for the membership meeting, we can certainly have that as an announcement. I'm assuming that you would want to make that as an announcement at the membership meeting. Do you want to have a specific meeting topic for that, Joe?
Well, I thought we'd have
Before-
one segment to where we put the letter up on the screen so everybody could see what the letter says. And then have a couple of computers to where people can enter the information, and it doesn't take but 15 seconds to send it. And that way if there's any question about, well, what does this letter say, they will have seen it.
Okay. We can have iPads or computers or whatever is convenient for people there to walk up and put in their call sign and send the. All right, anything else for the membership? We'll also have for the membership meeting, they'll have to squeeze in a topic on there'll be a quick blurb on the elections, pending that there are no additional nominations. And I haven't heard from Steve Frazier that there are. We just need to dot the I and cross the T regarding the elections and the nominations for the board to carry forward. Can't think of anything else for the membership meeting. Am I leaving anything else out?
I don't think so.
All right. No repeater report, Dan. Everything's kind of humming along. I don't know that we've had any outages or any issues, so I think we're just humming along on the repeaters. Fixed that already. All right. I'm assuming that Jonathan, you need Sparks by the end of the week. I love seeing all the board members send something to Jonathan for a contribution. Appreciate all that. I'll take a minute here, and Joe, you had circulated some information about the ARRL's pass the bill club version. Do you want to take the floor and have a minute or two and discuss that?
Hold on.
And while you're pulling that up, I don't know that we necessarily need to send, as a club, I don't know that we necessarily need to send multiple versions. I think we could send the version as the club to where the club's representation would be. That's my thoughts on that, Joe, based on the email that you'd sent.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Because I do not see my camera or audio for some reason. But the club version, they have it. I've sent it out to where we have two different opportunities, or depending on where the our PO box itself is in Kustoff's district, and our meeting location is in Cohen's district. What I was suggesting is that we send a club letter out with the people that are in Kustoff's area, have them sign the letter, and then the one that's in Cohen's area sign the area. Adam White, what district are you in? 8 or 9? Do you go? Is your voting registration by the PO box or by your street address?
The street address.
Okay, is that district 8 or 9?
That's a good question.
Well,
did you vote for Kustoff
again,
or Cohen? Or
I can't remember.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
You can.
Oopsie.
Okay, I'm fucking stand corrected. Sorry, ChatGPT. Sorry I doubted you.
I think we should just send one, Joe. I think we should just send the letter based on where the club's registered. That's my opinion, and not try to split it, because we want all of the officers to sign the letter to where our club is being represented by and from. That's my opinion, but I'm only one person, so I'd open it up to the rest of the board.
Cheaper to do it with Kustoff, because Cohen, you got to send him a bucket of chicken.
But whatever.
I'd go with the one. That's just me.
Okay.
And you're right. The personal one was almost too easy. I thought there would be more steps, but it was just I hit submit and it was done.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, they made it real easy. But
There's an interesting.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just gonna say there's a real interesting video out there of David with the ARRL talking about that. I think he was on the Ham Radio Crash Course talking about that, and how there's a group down in Texas that put that together, and the ARRL leveraged it because it was so effective, and it gives their legislative team this stack to walk in of, however thick it ends up being to walk in, and when they go to lobby with any particular legislator when they get a meeting. It's worth searching for that to listen to. I was very impressed with David when I met him in Huntsville. So anyway, Joe, I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Whatever everybody thinks, I'll put the names and information. I might have to get some information from you because it might want full names and not just by the name you go by. I'll be glad to put that together between now and meeting and have everybody sign it.
All right. Real quick question. Is everybody in favor of sending this as a club board of directors? Any objections? All right. No objections. All right. I didn't hear any. Yes, Joe?
Nothing. No objection.
I didn't hear any objections to it. We'll get to that in just a second. Does anybody have any strong feelings? One bill or two, one letter or two letters? I think one letter is the best, but we'll take a minute to get to consensus on one letter or two letters because we haven't really covered that. Everybody, one or two?
I'm with one.
What do we think the cost is going to be?
All right, it's a stamp.
No cost.
But
It gets scanned in and sent to Texas.
Okay, just to them, not to the. Okay, all right.
Yeah, they added to the lobbyist stacks.
Okay. Yeah, 2 then. Why not?
Hey, Joe, what do you see as the benefit of sending 2?
It gets one to both Kustoff and one to Cohen. That's the only advantage that I see. And the people in Texas might throw it out having a second one. I don't know. But they can, they say that you can do it, but if your club is split, half could vote one way and half could vote the other, and why not send a letter to each one? We're in a unique situation to where we're in 2 different, the PO box is in one district and the club meeting location is in another district. That's what gerrymandering gets you.
Yeah. I mean, my feeling is we're not voting. We're just sending a letter, and if it reaches both representatives, I would see that as a positive. And if they throw one out in Texas, well, then it doesn't matter.
All right, we've heard from almost everybody. Adam, do you have an opinion one way or the other? Paul, I'll put both of y'all and just see if y'all have an opinion one way or the other.
I'm good either way. I won't be at the meeting, so if somebody would sign for me, I would appreciate it.
I'll get it signed. I'll get you to sign it somehow. How long are you going to be gone? You just have a conflict that night?
No, I'm out all next week. I'll be out of
okay.
town. I'll be back
we
by
do
the weekend.
Okay. If we do send 2, do we want all of the board members to sign both letters?
I'm suggesting that the ones in that district sign it. You don't have to have every officer sign the letter.
I think it would look more, I personally think it would look more effective for the board the board of the club to all sign it one way or the other. That's just, to me, that would be more effective because the board is the club board stands behind and says, yes, this is important to us.
Are they going to know,
to that point,
or could we just sign both?
That's where I was headed, is we could sign both as the board of directors because we meet it at one representative, we are put PO box and registered, and another one, just all sign it as the board and send 2 letters, one to each. I'm fine with that. I think that's a great idea.
I changed my vote to that.
All right. I'd entertain a motion that we put together, Joe, we asked Joe to put together a letter to the ARRL supporting their Pass the Bill grassroots campaign, verbiage to be approved by Joe, and signed by all the board of directors to our state representatives, both Senate and U.S. House of Reps, where the board it meets and where we are registered. I'd entertain that motion. Moved by Tyler, seconded by?
I like it.
Seconded by Adam. Or Paul, either one, Perry. All in favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you, Joe, for bringing that up. We'll look forward to that, and we'll all be at the board meeting at the membership meeting with pens ready.
Yep.
All right. Next little thing is we've got Bluff City Blues coming up. That is this coming weekend. I have not heard from Steve Frazier on that. I know Mary Jean's not going to be able. She normally handles that. I did hear from Tulio or Taroni, and I mangled his name, that the traditional support that the Delta Club gives for Bluff City Blues and the bike ride is certainly would be and could be very much appreciated. So I have not ever participated in that. So I'm a little short on the details. I'm going to reach out to Steve and see if he was going to be able to help with that. Does anybody here have some additional details? I'm looking at Joe, Paul, Perry, John, that y'all might have that could be able to help out a little bit and provide some insight.
Yeah, historically, they've had a net control station, I believe, out at the general store, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
start from the general store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The route is very, very rural. Most of it is able to be covered by the 8.2. Some of the more rural rest areas, though, you're going to need more than an HT to be able to get into the 8.2. I remember doing it one year, and I believe I had a 20-watt radio, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a long day. I do remember that we started early in the morning, and the last riders didn't get in till I want to say 4:30 in the afternoon. And they did provide food and adult beverages, but it's a long day. But it was fun. I remember it being an enjoyable experience. The year I did it, Mary Jean was net control. Pat Lane was there. Steve Frazier was there. Ken Lassiter. Trying to remember who else, but it was unusually hot that weekend. I remember that as well.
Okay. This will need to be, I will be circulating this via email just because it's just the timing of the situation. Any other questions around this? Hopefully we can pull this together and make this happen. We mentioned it a couple of times. We mentioned it last month at the membership meeting. So hopefully there's some members out there that'll pull together and make this happen.
Don Straw was a big one last year. I do remember that.
Gotcha. I'll reach out to Steve and Don for sure. Anybody else?
Josh Cunningham. Josh did it in the afternoon, I believe, with Matt. On Sunday, it was a Sunday afternoon, I thought.
Josh has been strangely quiet. Yes, we're talking about you, Josh.
He might be like me and forgets that he's muted and just starts talking and like nobody's paying attention.
His tongue didn't make it through customs.
Fair enough. All right.
There you go. All right.
There he is.
I hit my unmute button and it wasn't doing anything. It's working now. But yeah, to help out with the bike ride last year with Ken Lassiter and my brother. We were up at Glen Springs.
Okay.
I'll just throw that out there.
And the ride starts at 7:30, so we would probably be on deck from 7:30 or 7 to probably worst case probably 7 to 5. So I'll circulate that. Well, Josh, that's good to know. Do you think you'll be able to help this year by chance?
Possibly. I don't think I have anything going on Saturday, but I'll have to double check.
Fair enough.
And I was able to
pull that together.
I was going to say I was able to hit the repeater with my HT from Glen Springs, so I didn't have any issues communicating with net control being up there.
Okay. That's good to know that there are some locations that an HT is a good tool, but we also need to know that we have some locations that need to have full 50-watt mobiles or higher power mobiles as well. All right. Any other concerns or questions on Bluff City Blues? All right, I'm going to try to get through the last couple of things pretty quick. I've already covered elections, so we'll talk about that. We really talked about the prize list for November. Are there any additions or corrections to the prize list for November? Jonathan, all the Wagos got made and everything's taken care of?
Yeah, all that stuff's done. It's just sitting in the garage waiting to come to the meeting.
Fantastic. All right, so the last thing we need to talk about real quick is the Bartlett Pancake Breakfast. Dan has gotten us a tent location, a booth location for the pancake breakfast out in the parking lot. That's 7 to 11, same place as where Free Fest is. We can either have just a straight booth with collateral and membership information, or we can try to have an up and active radio or 2 or 3, however much we feel ambitious that we want to try to tackle. This will need some help. Dan will not be able to help with this. He will be running the pancake breakfast, as that is his primary focus. Any thoughts on how we want to pull this off? We don't have to answer this. We can ask the membership to help us next week as well. But I do want to just toss it out there and see what get some feelers on everybody's sentiment on this.
I'll be there, and I can bring my Go kit stuff.
Okay.
Let me look and see. That's not my. I'll get back with you if I can help. I don't know where my work phone is with my calendar.
Fair enough.
I was thinking that I would bring whatever to get on FT8. Laptop, battery, antenna.
I'll check my
All right,
schedule.
so we'll have a couple. All right, so it sounds like we're going to have some good representation there. I'll have several radios, different bands. We'll be able to pique some interest there. The Pancake Breakfast stand reports back that it typically has, I think he said, over 2,000 people go through the Pancake Breakfast in the time frame that they have it open. It is a large fundraiser for the Bartlett Fire Department and their organizations that they're working. So there's a lot of traffic in that short time period. It's a great opportunity for us to expose a lot of people that wouldn't normally see amateur radio and let them see it in a different light. So it sounds like we got some people that are. The breakfast, I believe, is 7 to 11. Dan said that they would be there as early as 5:30 a.m. if we wanted to get there that early. And then they usually are cleaned up and out of there by 1. Now, of course, we wouldn't have to be there till 1. I would say we'd be there 6:30 to 11:30 and be in and out in that time frame would be my estimation. If we wanted to, Dan did say that if we did want to run like a long wire antenna from the booth location, maybe up onto the roof or down from the roof, that he could probably facilitate that the night before. Or if we wanted to have gear dropped off and locked and secured inside the building the night before, he could probably facilitate that as well.
Man, I was thinking that ladder truck would be great to hang a long wire off of.
It is until they rip out of there on a medical call and take it all with them.
There is that.
Yep.
All right, I will. We'll put some traffic about this in Sparks. We'll see. I think between Jonathan and Adam and Tyler and Josh, I think we got a good crew there. I don't know yet if my weekend is still going to be open or not. I've got conflicting items on that weekend, so I'm not 100% sure I'm in. But if it resolves and I can, I'm planning on being there. On another conversation, I'll just mention it. The Scouts have Jamboree on the Air on October 8th, the weekend of October 18th, not this weekend, but next weekend. If you're out there and you're listening and you hear Scouts, if you're working HF or FT, FT8, FT4, and you see Scouts Jamboree on the Air, JOTA, JOTA, give them a shout. I'll put that out there. All right, I don't have anything else. Does anybody want to? I'll run a roll call around the room real quick. Anybody have anything else they want to add? Since Tyler's at the top of the Brady Bunch, we'll start with Tyler.
Not tonight. Good to go.
All right, John.
Which John?
John Reiners.
Oh yeah, I'll try to get an article together for this month's Sparks, and then actually working on something that was suggested about what we did in response to Katrina with the toy drive years ago. And so I'll also be working on that for November Sparks. So.
All right. Thank you, sir. Jonathan, we'll go over to you.
I'm good.
All right. Paul, we'll slide over to you now.
Nothing extra.
All right. Joe, you want to talk about anything? You got some classes or anything you want to throw out and mention that we haven't heard about?
I have a general class scheduled to go November the 3rd through December the 8th. I've got 6 students right now signed up. I'm needing to get 10. I sent out a list to about 95 people yesterday, and I've gotten 2 responses from that list. So hopefully we'll have 10 to be able to have the class. I really hate having a class with less than 10 because usually you'll have 3 or 4 drop out. If you start with 6 and have 4 drop out, you really don't have a class. And also I've got sent out the list today to the instructors from last year to see if they will lead their section that they did last year. And that's it. It's November the 3rd through the December the 8th from 6:15 to 9:30 at MPD Appling Farms Precinct Training Room, except for November the 10th.
Right. Any questions on that? Anyone? Thank you, Joe. Appreciate all that. Look forward to hearing more on other things coming. Adam, we'll head over to you.
Nothing for my end.
All right. Perry?
I've got nothing else, Mr. President.
All right. Josh, you're at the bottom of the Brady Bunch window on my side. So we'll call you and see if you got anything you want to add.
I just want to mention, I don't know how many people got affected by this, but there was a phony email that went out to some of the board members. I ended up getting it, and it was a spam email, and it looked like it was from Paul. Paul had sent it out, and it was like asking to send money through PayPal. And so I ended up looking at the email address, and it didn't match the Delta Club's email. I mean, it looked like a really legit email that Paul would have sent, but it ended up being a phony email. So if you see something like that, question it. Make sure that I ended up sending an email back to Paul and asked him, said, "Hey, did you end up sending me this email, requesting money through PayPal?" And he said, "No, it's a scam." So just wanted to make y'all aware of that in case you see it.
Yeah, I sent an email.
Yes, sir. Thank you much.
To someone else saying nice try, but
They do scam us on a regular basis. We've all been scammed by. That's the downside to being publicly exposed and publicly available. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody's time, and thank you very much. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made to adjourn by Perry, seconded by.
Oh, second it.
Seconded by Adam. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and efforts and contributions to the club.